Scheduled in the strawweight division. Introducing to you first, fighting out of the blue corner, a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu practitioner standing 4 feet, 11 inches tall. Weighing in officially 115 pounds in 15 professional fights, her record stands at 11 victories and 4 defeats. She fights out of Boston, Massachusetts. Here is the former Invicta FC atomweight champion of the world, Hérica Tibúrcio. And across the cage stands her opponent, fighting out of the red corner. This mixed martial artist stands 5 feet, 1 inch tall. She weighed 115 1/2 pounds and holds a professional record of 9 victories and 2 defeats. Fighting out of Rio de Janeiro, Brazil, here is Jéssica Delboni. And your referee in charge of the action is Nick Behrens.
Nick Behrens getting this strawweight assignment. It is Jéssica Delboni taking on the former atomweight champ, Hérica Tibúrcio. TJ DeSantis, Julie Kedzie, Laura Sanko here, Fight Church, the PAL Gym in Kansas City. Delboni in the black, Tibúrcio in the orange with gray. Delboni looking to utilize some kicks here early.
Delboni always reminds me of a lioness stalking her prey. She sort of takes her time and sleeks in there, and then just at the right moment explodes with some sort of action. It's just so fun to watch.
And to counter that, Tibúrcio is like a little bumblebee, you know, a lot of frenetic energy,
yes.
But when she stings, she stings.
Kick the lead leg of Delboni by Tibúrcio. Tries to follow it up with the right hand. Tibúrcio goes to the body with Delboni answering with a kick.
It's interesting, you know, in the way they're measuring each other out, you can see the experience in the cage time they've had. They're really trying to find the right shots.
Fast hands on display here by Jéssica Delboni.
Really nicely done there.
Tibúrcio is getting caught a little bit in the headlights here, not able to move backward effectively when Delboni is landing. I'd like to see her be able to manage that distance a little bit better, get out of the way some of those punches, and then come back into the pocket.
Absolutely, leaning your head without your feet underneath you is not a great idea against a strong boxer, because they'll just follow the trajectory of your head and try to get you to the mat.
Just kick the lead leg of Tibúrcio, and again following it up with the hands is Delboni. You talk about cage rust, and I think a lot of that cage rust is really timing, right, Laura?
It is. I'm sitting here watching Hérica fight and imagining myself if I had come back, 3 years after having my son, and it's just, even just going back to training, it's such a tricky thing, and obviously fight timing is different than training timing. I know that she has been putting the work in the gym clearly, but your body's different. I'm just going to say, there are just different things that happen to you when you have a child, mentally, physically. And it's not to say you can't come back an even better version of yourself, but it's different. It's just different.
Delboni firing some boxing combinations a moment ago. Tibúrcio did land a couple of counter right hands, but now trying to switch it up to go for a takedown. Bails on it, lands a couple strikes on the break. You can see the confidence here growing of Delboni now into the clinch. Tommy Tohold checking in on Twitter. Always love seeing Tommy's thoughts on Fight Night.
Tommy!
You see Delboni really utilizing that controlling position, finding those short shots. Tibúrcio using her underhook to try to spin off successfully. Ooh. Nice knee.
Touch under 90 seconds here remaining in round number 1. Former atomweights in the octagon now. Don't forget our main event, atomweight title on the line as Ashley Cummins takes on Alicia Zappatelli. Fast hands again on display here by Jéssica Delboni.
Yeah, I think Delboni just has a much better feel of the timing of this fight right now. And Julie, you said it best. I don't love what Hérica Tibúrcio is doing with her head there. I would like to see her, you know, bob and weave and dip down and look maybe for a body shot in those moments in the pocket where she's feeling a little bit overwhelmed. You got to change your level.
Yeah, she hits on the half beat a lot, and it is successful for her. You know, the kind of the slight jab to the big jab, or, you know, blocking the kick to a strike off the same side. But the problem is if you don't have a rear foot in play with you, it's very hard to generate power, and it's, you know, you just really have to be on balance. And Delboni showing excellent balance this fight.
And you have to have a lot of volume when you're doing that as well, because if you're hitting on the half beat, it means your guard is not, you know, in place against your face.
A lot of action here to end this first round. 5 minutes in the books between these atomweights turned strawweights. Jéssica Delboni, Hérica Tibúrcio. Be interesting to see the adjustments here Julie made in round number 2, where Delboni was throwing, again, a lot of fast hands, but throwing in volume, where Tibúrcio was, you know, really only throwing, you know, 1 or 2 punch combinations.
Yeah, you know, Delboni, I mean, I think she clearly had the upper hand in the striking this round. I think Tibúrcio had her moments, but trying to get Delboni to the floor is what she needs to do right now. She needs to get this into a scramble fight, which she's extremely good at. You know, and again, like Laura said, there's kind of that deer in headlights thing. I mean, she already has kind of a wide-eyed, innocent face, but that deer in headlights thing is being in the cage for the first time in 3 years after undergoing huge life changes and, you know, trying to settle in and get that adjustment. And she's a very comfortable grappler. Getting this to the mat would be a good thing for her.
Invicta FC 43 is headed your way Friday, November 20th with a championship doubleheader as Conejo Ruiz takes on Emily Ducote for the strawweight title, and the flyweight title is on the line when we see Erin Cold-Blooded Blanchfield take on Pearl Gonzalez. Invicta FC 43 headed your way Friday, November 20th, only on UFC Fight Pass. Headed to round number 2, touch of gloves, Jéssica Delboni in the black, taking on Hérica Tibúrcio. We see all 3 judges side with Delboni here early.
I don't think we see much of a surprise there with those scores. I think that's how the 3 of us saw it as well, but I expect Hérica Tibúrcio to come out with some big adjustments. Sometimes it could just take a round, right, to kind of get the feelers back, get the timing back.
Big right hand here to kick off this round for Hérica Tibúrcio. We talked about that timing, and, you know, the volume of Tibúrcio hasn't been what it was of Delboni's, but you see that action slowly picking up here in these exchanges. Tibúrcio shoots from the outside.
And that was pretty much way too far away for that shot. You know, Delboni was able to get out of it and time her strike off.
Well, Tibúrcio has been away for 3 years. She had been competing in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu competitions, so she has been training, never really stopped that, but tonight marks the return of the former atomweight queen to mixed martial arts competition.
And it's really the blend that you miss when you're not actively fighting. I mean, you can train each art separately and train them in parts together, but there's just something different about being in a fight and the timing that you need to shoot those takedowns when you're facing someone like Jéssica Delboni, who is just stalking you down right now.
She really is. Oh.
I was just going to say, coming forward with those combinations that we saw earlier, now back in the clinch.
And Tibúrcio's, she's got the guillotine heard around the world a few years ago that got her the atomweight title. But, you know, Delboni's got a little bit of a tell with that right hand. When she's jetting, she wiggles her right hand. You can tell when she's kind of gearing up to throw it. The problem is Tibúrcio has not read that tell yet, and her head movement is not getting her out of dangerous positions yet.
I'd like to see Hérica start utilizing just more level changes. Get your body kind of in the rhythm of, like, okay, we're punching, we're up, we're down. We might shoot here, we might not, because if you only throw hands, it's just so hard to get that timing for the shot worked in there. Oh.
Some knees here to the offense of Delboni. They are in the clinch. Tibúrcio starting to find some answers, at least throwing more in terms of a response volume-wise, but Delboni able to slow it down here back in the clinch. Ladies separate back at space.
She is certainly, Hérica Tibúrcio, I should say, is certainly in this fight. There's no doubt about that. It's just 3 years is a very long time to be away from MMA competition.
You can see her getting that sparkle back a little bit, you know, those fakes and feints. She's still backing straight up, but she's finding those shots. She found that knee earlier. You know, she's still getting hit. I'm not going to deny that, but still getting hit a lot. But she's also, like you said, she's very much still in this fight. She's seeing what she needs to see.
There we go.
Combination in return there from Hérica Tibúrcio.
She does such a nice job landing off of those exchanges. I mean, landing last is something that she does very, very well.
Ooh. Final 90 seconds here in round number 2. Big right hand, grazing by Delboni.
Delboni's just got that swagger, too, when she's in the center of the cage.
She has such perfect head position all the time. She's looking right through her eyebrows, forehead pointed forward all the time, and just stalking.
Hands on display by Delboni. Tibúrcio trying to find an answer coming forward. A kick lands.
And I think something may have clicked in Tibúrcio. You know, it seems like she's got a little bit of an angry face now. She's starting to, you know, really wake up to the fact that this is a fight. That was a good right hand.
Her movement is looking more like what she used to look like as well. She's got, you know, her shoulders up a little bit, tucking her chin. There we go.
The momentum may be changing a bit in this fight, but this round still very much belonging to Jéssica Delboni. Final 10 seconds. Really loading up on that right hand. 10 minutes in the books between these straw weights. Critical 5 minutes left to go here. I definitely think you're right, Julie. We saw the momentum, or at least the feel of this fight, change a little bit towards Hérica Tibúrcio, but it may be a little late. We'll see, you know, how the judges score that round, but she really needs to turn it on in these final 5 minutes if she wants to take it.
She does. She needs to get those strikes in. She needs to get Delboni to the ground on her back, and she needs to impose her will on her. But yeah, I think she showed a really good switch, a little change right there. I was actually curious about Delboni's right hand because it looked like that really big right at the end actually hit Tibúrcio on the elbow, but she doesn't seem to be shaking it.
Julie, walk us through some of this action.
Well, right here, I think we kind of almost see that switch come alive. You know, we see Tibúrcio's taking shots. She's getting hit, and you know, something happens in her head where she just kind of all of a sudden barrels onto onto Delboni's, and she's like, "Ah, I'm here." You know, her face changes, her eyebrows lower. You know, she's not maybe keeping her chin as low as I'd like, but she's fight Tibúrcio full.
Sometimes you just got to get mad, Julie.
Yeah, and you got to get hit. For some people, that's just what it takes.
Here we go, final 5 minutes between these straw weights. You can see the judges' scorecards there. One has it even, the other two for Jéssica Delboni. You know, looking at Tibúrcio, she's a former atomweight champ, 3 years away, and Laura, she comes back and returns against a top-tier fighter and Jéssica Delboni. This isn't an easy comeback fight for Hérica Tibúrcio by any means.
Absolutely not, and that speaks to the matchmaking of Invicta, but it speaks to the career of Hérica Tibúrcio. I mean, we know what this woman is capable of, and, you know, Invicta's not about tomato cans or gimme fights. We're going to put her back right where she knows that she can pick up.
It's a left hand, does Tibúrcio, but still very much coming forward.
Yeah, Delboni's still hitting with power, but you see Tibúrcio's really now stalking forward. She's planting herself in the center, and you know, she's trying to be aggressive and get on that shot. Somebody made the bumblebee mad.
Someone kicked her nest. Hive. They don't have nests. What do I talk about?
These are awesome.
These strawweights are awesome.
They are.
It's just, you can't, imagine the amount of power that these lighter weight classes do have. And I think both of these ladies really respect one another, but now we're getting after it. Again, both these ladies competing tonight at strawweight. Both have plans on returning to the 105-pound division. Now we're back into the clinch. Double underhooks here for Delboni.
And both are definitely keeping an eye on that atomweight title fight tonight.
That is still yet to come. Ashley Cummins in her second title opportunity against Half Pint, Alicia Zappatella.
I have to say, Delboni did an extremely good read right here. She saw Tibúrcio coming in, and she went, immediately got that double underhook position, negating the easier takedown. And now, she's kind of hugging her. She's staying in tight. Tibúrcio's doing the work of kind of lifting her while Delboni's finding a way to connect those hands and the spin off, which should be coming shortly.
A couple of knees and a foot stomp by Delboni.
And these are the moments where you wonder if Delboni knows that she is up on the scorecards. Is she maybe a little bit more careful in those exchanges and less urgent, but just, keeping that lead and continuing to look for the finish, but doing it in a very careful, calculated way?
Under 2 minutes remaining here in the fight. Combination of punches here now, avoiding the clinch. Really loading up on the right hand is Tibúrcio.
Yeah, you can see she smelled blood right there, and she saw an opening for a big power shot. Delboni very rightly circling herself back to the center, trying to get that space.
Scheduled 3 5-minute rounds here tonight, but Hérica Tibúrcio, no stranger to the 5-round championship fights. And, we're not going that far tonight, Julie, but you can kind of feel like minute by minute, Tibúrcio's just getting more and more comfortable inside the octagon.
Yeah, some people are slow starters. I was a slow starter as a fighter. I did not have the storied career that Tibúrcio did, but, it takes a little bit to wake somebody up. I would love to see this as a 5-round. That overhand was beautiful. And Delboni's still very strong, still probably leading on the scorecards, but Tibúrcio is alive now, and she's hungry.
A hungry bee.
Mm-hmm.
Final 30 seconds left in this fight. Hérica Tibúrcio, Jéssica Delboni.
I love that return. She's getting her hands in the right place now, nodding a little. And Delboni's blinking a little. She's gotten hit a couple times, though, pretty hard.
These ladies getting after it. Final 10 seconds left in the fight.
Oof. Oh, that was nice.
15 minutes in the books. Jéssica Delboni, Hérica Tibúrcio. Judges will sort this one out, but solid performance by Jéssica Delboni, and it took a little while for Hérica Tibúrcio to get back in the swing of things, but again, I think, Laura, she proved that she has a lot left in the tank.
Absolutely. I mean, watching this fight just makes me want to watch her fight yet again, and, with a couple